Okay, I think we're going now. Hi everyone, my name is Kira Jones and welcome to my channel. In this channel, we're going to talk about user experience design, and then we're also going to talk about how you can design your own life and the own life that you want to live for. That was so horrible. Okay, I gotta do it again, don't I? Okay. Ooh. I don't know why I'm so like nervous to talk to myself. Like I don't do it all the time. Anyways, hello everyone. My name is Kira Jones. I'll just say my first name. Hello everyone. My name is Kira and welcome to my channel. On this channel, we're going to talk about user experience design, how I got into user experience design, and we're also going to talk about how to design your own life. How do you design your own life? Continue to watch my videos, you'll see what I'm talking about later on. And you would think that this would be my first video. It's actually my third. It's so backwards. But in this video, I kind of wanted to introduce myself a little bit, and I also want to talk about my journey to user experience design. So this is why I had to write everything. Okay, so this video is about how I became a user experience designer with no experience and no design degree. Yeah, me, I did that. And honestly, you'll learn in the space of tech that a lot of people usually are career changers. So don't get yourself down if you don't have a design degree. And you know, this also goes for software development as well. Like there's like so many ways to get certified. It's kind of more about what you know. Do you know how to do it? Or yeah, that's pretty much the main thing. It's like, do you know how to do it? Are you competent? Are you a good employee? So I do have a bachelor's degree in psychology. I actually graduated in, when did I graduate? Graduated in 2018 with my bachelor's degree in psychology. Yeah. And pretty much immediately after that, I went into 2 jobs that I could not stand. I absolutely hated them, but I gained a lot of skills from them that I was actually able to use towards my user experience resume. I'll get into that. But to start from the beginning, yes, I pretty much started as a straight out of college. I was in sales, which honestly, most of us who have psychology degrees end up in sales or some type of business administrative or like business, what the heck is the other thing I'm talking about? Business development. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, because pretty much we all know with psychology degrees is you usually can't do anything with it or use it towards a psychology career unless you go get your master's or you get your PhD, and I was not going to do that. So I pretty much, nope, I gotta find something else to do. Also, I was very broke and I needed to make some money, so I went ahead and took that sales job. So this sales job was me working in a brokerage as a carrier sales representative, meaning I pretty much worked with the carriers, you know, those people who drive the big 18-wheelers. Yeah, I was pretty much booking loads for them that we had from our customers. The most stressful job I've ever done in my life. And yeah, the reason why is it just seemed like my phone was just blowing up constantly and I didn't have any time to rest. I mean, like even when I was at home for the weekends, I still had to make sure I stayed up with what was going on with my shipments or my loads or whatever. And I honestly did not have any time to breathe because no shipment is perfect. Something always happens. They like to call me and be like, hey, something happened. I'm like, okay, you're like in New Jersey and I'm a little black girl behind a desk in Atlanta, Georgia with a headset on my head. What am I to do about it? I let the broker know, hey, you know, my carrier's been sitting there for a few hours now. There's nothing else I can do besides that. So that's another story for another day. Anyways, after about some months of doing that, I literally got burnt out. I could not do it anymore, and soon after that I ended up working at a renovation company as an administrative assistant. Once again, me as a psychology major, I'm just getting thrown these jobs and it's like, what am I doing with my life? But anyways, yeah, I was an administrative assistant for a renovation company. There I was able to level up pretty quickly. The reason why is because they had me do a whole bunch of stuff that wasn't even in my job description, and I ended up in asset management and learning about all that stuff. And then not too long after that, the pandemic hit and I lost my job. So I'm back to square one where I still know what I want to do with my life, and I was unemployed and I was going broke. I wasn't broke yet because yeah, I had some savings, and my apartment at the time was pretty much taking all of it out, but it took some months for that to happen. But eventually, yeah, I did run out of money eventually. So while I was unemployed and at home during the pandemic, I decided that I was like, I have to figure out what I want to do. What is my career going to be? Because right now I'm just running around, just like, I don't know what I'm doing. So I decided to go into tech. And the reason why I wanted to go into tech, because I felt like it gave me the freedom to work from home. And that's what I really wanted. I wanted a high salary and I wanted the freedom to work from home. So I started looking into software engineering. I went to a software engineering boot camp, which I do not recommend because honestly it's just really fast paced. They say it's beginner friendly, but it's not. So, and also you have to like software engineering in order to stick to it, because that junk is not made for everyone. And who can do it, they got the personality to be able to do it. My personality was more of a creative. My personality was more of somebody who thrives on design and having empathy for others and figuring out what their needs are and things of that sort, because I had a psychology background. It just did not go with my personality at all. So I knew pretty quickly that software engineering wasn't going to be something that I would do long term. But I don't know how, but by the grace of God, I successfully graduated that boot camp. I successfully graduated it. I did all the projects. I was like really surprised myself that I was actually able to do that. The money was already invested, and I was like, I might as well finish this, and I did. And for a little while, I started doing contract positions of being a web designer. And yeah, I always loved to design. Like, my applications always looked great when I was in a software engineering boot camp, but my code wasn't that great. But I mean, you know, I guess they go hand in hand, but I definitely put a lot of emphasis onto the design because I feel like it was important. Fast forward through that, I decided that no, let me back up. While I was doing software engineering, I began to realize that I like design better, but I didn't really know much about user experience design. Let's be honest. Like, when I was in college, I didn't know about user experience design, and I started to learn a little bit about it while I was in a software engineering boot camp, but I still didn't really know about it. So I was curious to learn more about it, but I was so exhausted with everything that was going on that I was kind of dragging my feet with it. Then during this time, I ended up running out of money. I ended up running out of money. I had to give up my apartment and move back in with my mom. And that was not a good feeling at all. So I moved back in with my mom, and while I was there, I got introduced to user experience design by a friend of mine who was a software engineer. So he pretty much told me about like some contracts that was coming up, or like, oh, they need a designer for this and that. And I'm just like, I don't really have any experience. I have a good idea, but it pretty much turned into like a mentorship type thing. And I just started to learn. Like, I learned by doing. And I fell in love with user experience design so much that I wanted to learn more. So I decided to get my UX certification by Google through Coursera. So I got my UX certification by Google through Coursera. It took me about 2.5 months. Usually it'll take people around 6 months, but you can go at your own pace. You're not, you know, you go completely at your own pace. But it took me only 2.5 months because I was unemployed, and I had the time to put towards it, and also I became obsessed with it that I just worked and I 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 worked, and I didn't stop. I did not stop the grind, did not stop learning. Like, not only was I taking the course, I was also learning through YouTube. What else I was learning through? I was learning through mentors, of course, and the contract positions that I was being put on. And during that time, I also did some volunteer work to build up my resume. So I used this website called catchafire.com. I will link that in the description. Yeah, so I used that website, and that was when I was able to actually get volunteer opportunities where I was able to work on my own projects with my own stakeholders. So I learned how to talk to stakeholders and clients doing volunteer work, and I was still very broke, you guys. Like, I was broker than broke, and honestly I became comfortable with being broke, that I just really enjoyed what I was doing, even though I still wasn't making money from from it yet. And this had been, how long had this been? So I actually got my first web design project in January of 2021. I got my first user experience project in May of 2021. I got UX certified in August of 2021. And I built up my resume. I did the interviews and all those things. Like, I just kept working. I applied to about 200 jobs. I had about 36 interviews. Oh my gosh, it was like each company's interview process was at least 3 interviews long, at least. And that didn't count the whiteboarding interview. So I was exhausted. I was tired of talking about myself. I was tired of the question, tell me about yourself. I hate that question. I hate that question with a passion. But I had to say it over and over and over and over again. Oh gosh. So I was pretty much applying and interviewing for like 3 months before I actually landed my first full-time position as a user experience designer too. I was actually going for junior level position. I ended up getting a level 2 position. So I'm still in that position now. I started that position in November of 2021, and now it is July of 2022, and my year anniversary is coming up very soon. So I'm excited about that. Loud car in the background. But yeah, like honestly, like no, my journey was not traditional at all. Like my journey was very untraditional. I did not major in user experience design. I didn't even know what it was when I was in college. My college didn't even have a program that had to do user experience design back then anyway, or human-centered design. Most of those programs are usually like master's programs, and even with the master's programs, like my school still didn't support that type of program. I would have to go to a different school in order to get that, and I didn't want to get my master's. I didn't want to get my master's in psychology, so I was not going to do it. Like it wasn't going to happen. Wasn't doing it. Also, I felt like me going the UX certification route was a lot cheaper. With Coursera, it's only $39 a month with a 7-day free trial. So that means the quicker you, what was I saying? It means the quicker that you actually finish your certification, the least amount of money that you have to pay. Did I mention I was broke? So yeah. I did as much as I could in that 7-day free trial, as much as I could. Like you guys, it was something serious. I was not playing at all. Then after that, I think that was my whole entire journey, honestly. It wasn't as long as I thought this video was going to be. All right, so pretty much to wrap up the video, you guys, if I never would have lost my job during the pandemic in 2020, I probably would not be a user experience designer today. Sometimes when you become uncomfortable, and sometimes when you feel like you failed, it can be your biggest blessing. And that's what ended up happening for me. Like it was definitely my biggest blessing that I ended up losing my job. Because after that, I was like, you know what, let me do what I actually want to do. And this is shame that we think that way. Like it has to take like a major life change in order for us to like get out there or like make some serious changes for ourselves. And I would never ever do that again. I learned my lesson. I'm like, I'm going to do what I want to do, and I'm going to continue to strive for what I want to do. I knew I wanted to become a user experience designer. I did that. I got a job, full-time position that I still work now as a user experience designer. But I knew I also knew that I wanted to do YouTube. I've been wanting to do YouTube for a very long time, but I didn't know what I wanted to do it about. And honestly, being a user experience designer, I know people are very interested in my story. I know they're interested in my day-to-day life and things of that sort. And honestly, after getting my job for a while, I just forgot about my YouTube dream. Like I did. And now I am pretty much reminded that that is still what I want to do. It does not end here, and I'm just going to continue to strive. And that's what you guys should also do. Like, do not forget about what you want to do. So yeah, now today I make over double what I used to make. I cried over that job. When I lost it during the pandemic, I cried. And now I make over double that. And I'm just gonna continue to make more and more and more as I go along and further in my career, you know. And that's why I say, like, you just gotta trust the process, whatever it may be. As always, design your life the way that you want it, and redesign it if the design is not quite right. Thanks for watching, everyone, and I will be talking to you soon. Bye.